Okay, dokie then. How we doing? We doing good? Huh? Are we doing just fine? Huh? Just waiting for YouTube Studio to wake up here. All right. How we doing, everybody? Just waiting. All right, guys. What's going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with another. Well, not really a Guardians live stream. Talking about the MLB a little bit. You may be wondering, Crazy Dog, what's that behind you? Oh, this? Funny enough, this was our AL Central Division Championship locker room celebration from last year. Just thought I'd toss this up because the playoff field for the 2023 MLB playoffs have been set. Now, unfortunately, we're not a part of the party this year. In fact, for those curious, how many times have we missed the playoffs since Tito took over? Let's take a look, in case you're curious. All right, because this has arguably been one of the most successful runs we've ever had. Tito, of course, was our manager for a good old 11 years, and it felt like we were in the playoffs almost every year, you know? And so this is only the fifth time. This is the fifth time in 11 years we've missed the playoffs. And get this. So, most likely, we're finishing either third or second in the standing. Funny enough, the third time we've finished third under Tito. The previous years were in 2014 and 15, right as the previous crop of prospects was starting to come up. Lindor, Ramirez was just getting going. Brantley was cooking. I mean, yeah, this is definitely the worst team we've had. Actually, this is our worst record since 2012 when we won only 68 games. That was the last year of Manny Acta. So, funny enough, the last year of Tito, we stink. Of course, right? How did you guys do in the last year of Eric Wedge? We stunk too. So we have this thing where we stink in the last years of managers. Now, of course, like I said, this was like 91, but injuries really hurt him, literally. Logan Allen, he came up. Remember, Cal got hurt. Logan got brought up. He was cooking too. And for some reason, Cal came back. When Cal came back, they sent Logan Allen down. Cal came, and he pitched like a couple games, and he stunk. And then they brought back Logan, and it was that way pretty much for the rest of the year. And then Cal came back, and they put Cal in the rotation with everybody. And to be fair, Cal did great. He did. Pitched just under 100 innings. Yeah, I mean, he did fine. Only gave up 11 home runs. That's one thing I love about the staff. They didn't give up a whole lot of homers. Now, the walks, yeah, the walks I could definitely do without. Yeah. Especially some of these pitchers like Cal, 58 Ks, 35 walks. Ew. Gavin definitely had his moments. He was great. He had those masterclass games. My God, it's like just left you in awe. Like, wow. Now, Gavin, of course, Aaron, he was phenomenal. That's why we traded him, because he was doing really well, and we knew that his value was not going to be any lower. What's up, Sports Dom? Looks like my D-backs are going to Milwaukee. That'll be a fun series. That'll be a fun series. Then you look at, the other guys that got starts this year. 9 from Xavier Curry. He was all right. 7 from Hunter Gaddis, who I will be honest, kind of shocked me. I mean, we looked at what he did last year when he first was brought up. He wasn't very good. And to be fair, right, he really did. He stepped up at times and he held it down. Can't even hate it. Other guys who got starts, Peyton Battenfield, who I honestly forgot even existed. I mean, seriously. Wow. Yeah, he disappeared, I think, because of injury. And then Noah Syndergaard, of course, got a couple. Giolito got 5 starts. Plazak, oh my God, I forgot about Plazak too. Talk about ass. Plays suck. 5 starts. And then 3 from Tristan McKenzie. That sucks, dude. He only had 3 or 4 starts this year. He literally he was injured to start the year because he got hurt during spring training. Okay? He finally comes back, and my God, he had a masterful return against Minnesota. He was chasing them up. But it's like after that, he just couldn't find that again. He had that one bad start, and then right before we're playing the D-backs, we get that notification saying his elbow is messed up. And the first thing that popped into our heads, old friend Tommy John. And we're thinking, God. But he didn't get the surgery, which is interesting. I guess the doctors didn't deem it serious enough to get it. He came back and he struggled a bit. But I guess the key is he has a couple starts under his belt, or at least a start or whatever under his belt. I think he has 2. Yeah, 2 starts. So he has 4 starts in total. So he has a couple starts post injury. He can go back to the lab, use this off season to work on his craft, and I guess get back in the swing of things. Maybe finish a little rehab, but I guess that's good because he doesn't have to go a full off season of rehab. That's a key though. They got a couple starts out of there. Wow. Tristan only had 4 starts, I believe. That's a bummer. And then 1 start out of Tukey, and that was because of Tristan. And then we DFA'd Tukey, and then he went to the White Sox, where he stayed for the rest of the year. Now, another reason why we kind of fell off, besides injuries, which isn't a big reason, believe it or not, this year. The injury bug bit us, but it didn't bite us that hard. But our bullpen kind of let us down several times, especially the back end. Emmanuel, it's crazy. He had 44 saves. He could easily end with 45 if we win tomorrow. 44 saves is insane. Trevor had 2. Eli had 1, believe it or not. Meatball Morgan, he was extremely up and down. Stefan, couldn't trust him for crap really half the time. And then Nick Sandlin was all right. But yeah, those are the only guys that really got any saves. But one of the big reasons why we struggled this year was our offense just completely regressing. I like to say this offense was like very luck based. They didn't really hit a lot of homers. They don't really have a whole lot of power. But they relied heavily on ground balls. Going station to station. The old fashioned way, pretty much. And it was partially luck based. That you just had to hope that ball found a hole somewhere. But I will say though, I like what we got for the future. That's for certain. You look at our team and you look at the future of this organization. The fact that the Dolans are going to be open to spending now, I think they're probably going to want to get the payroll probably just about 100 million. I'm sure. I would be kind of cautious going into free agency, considering. Look at the guys we brought in last year, or this year anyway. Josh Bell was not too bad, but Zunino, We really thought it was a good idea to bring in a catcher fresh off a major arm injury. Like, why? That was the stupidest thing ever. But I guess they thought maybe they could, he could do really well. And he was for a little bit, and then he stunk completely. He forgot how to hit a ball. But anyways, we're not talking about the Guardians in this stream. Let's talk about the playoff field for the 2023 MLB playoffs, which has essentially been confirmed as the Reds lost today, so the Marlins are in, the Diamondbacks are in as well, and then of course in the AL the Rangers, the Mariners are not in. Yeah, the Blue Jays are. Blue Jays, Rangers. My God, who else is in there? I gotta pull it up right here real quick, guys. So you look at the matchups here and everything. So AL, the division leaders, the teams that are essentially or mostly good to go. Baltimore and Texas, they're on to the division series. In Minnesota, well, we know who they're facing. Tampa Bay in the first round. So for the second straight year, Minnesota faces Tampa Bay will face the AL Central champ. Last year they faced us. We took them out in 2 games. This year, they're gonna face Minnesota. Minnesota is really good, believe it or not. I mean, heck, they won the Central, only winning 87 games. That just goes to show you how ass this division was this year. And I'll be real. I thought it was going to be us and Chicago, with maybe the Twins hanging around. No, the Twins essentially, nah. With how bad us and the White Sox derped this year, yeah, Minnesota essentially had the division won by like July for the most part. But now it looks like Detroit has decided to become somewhat decent. In fact, Detroit, they're 7 games under 500, tied with Boston. But yeah, the Guardians definitely showed flashes, that's for sure. But yeah, the wild card teams, they're set. Tampa, Houston, and Toronto. God, Houston's a wild card team. You know what? I'm really curious. I got to see the last time they didn't win their division in a long time. And it's funny because Bruce Bochy shows up to Texas, right next door, pretty much in Dallas, and they go and win the division in the first year. Wow. So let's see here. Oh, 2020, but that was shortened season. The last time they did not win their division in a regular 162 game season was 2016, where they finished third. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, that's insane. And if you're wondering, who won the division that year? Wasn't it Texas? Because Texas faced Toronto. Wow. Huh. I remember that series too. That was a fun series. Yeah, that was a fun series. But the AL, wow, the Rangers won the division. The Mariners finished second. Wow. Crazy how things go, right? But yeah, the AL is going to be a fun division. Am I going to do any playoff games? You do a couple during the week, most likely. Probably like Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday if there's any day games, because obviously Thursday night football, duh. Now, I'm not gonna do any Saturday or Sunday because obviously football. Same thing goes with Monday, so pretty much, maybe Monday afternoon, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday afternoon, maybe even Friday, maybe maybe Friday, yeah. So, depends on the matchups too. Like if we get freaking, let's say, I was gonna say McClanahan, but he's out. Let's say we get like Savale versus who? Ober. No, not doing that one. Hell no. But if we get like Sonny Gray versus Savale, I might have to consider doing that. You know. But man, Houston versus Toronto is gonna be a banger. And remember, wild card series is our best of three. So you win two, you're moving on. And remember how chaotic they were last year? Especially Seattle versus Houston. Hmm, that'll be fun. Now in the National League, obviously, we all know Atlanta and the Dodgers, they cruised easily to division titles. They pretty much had their divisions won by probably July into August, pretty much, especially the Braves. And you won 104 games this year. A little bit of a rough stretch, but yeah, nothing too bad. Milwaukee won the Central at 91 games, and they will face the Phillies. That is for sure. Yeah, they are facing the Phillies. Now, if we wind up getting like no, wait, if we get Corbin Burns versus Nola, ooh, that would be a banger. Mm-hmm. That might be a day where we get a couple ace matchups, and I have to really choose. We'll be doing some playoff games this year. You already know. Now, the other wild card matchup will be Miami versus Arizona. Look at that. Miami and Arizona. Chicago was in the running, but yeah, they kind of faltered a little bit. I think I saw somewhere where like earlier in the month they had like a 92% chance to make it. And then all of a sudden they sputtered. Finished one game back because Miami and Arizona won. You know. What's really shocking though is the amount of teams that were still in striking distance. So if there was like another month of the season left, who knows what would have happened? Cincinnati, the Padres, the Giants, even the Pirates were within 10 games. The Mets finished 9.5 out in the wild card. What's even more shocking is St. Louis. You know, the team that we all like to say has the voodoo magic. Well, yeah, 70-91. Ouch. Big owie. I'm watching Marins for Josh Bell. Marins. Who's the Marins? Go Browns. It's going to be so weird not watching the Guardians, right? Right? It's going to be very weird. Like, this is going to be the first October in a couple years where I can just sit back and relax watching playoff baseball. You're even going to focus on playoff baseball? Yeah, I'll focus on it a little bit, but I'm not going to have to stress out. Now, I will be stressing a little bit finding out who's going to replace the legend in Tito, and I hope we don't mess that up. I don't think we will. I feel like our guys know who they're probably going to look at. Would it be Gabe Kapler? Hell no. But what if it is? Looking at his resume, I don't know if I want Gabe here. I just don't know. Really don't know. That's what scares me. Are we gonna go like a younger, more energetic mind? You know, a guy that's not an old timer. Maybe that kind of runs in this day and age when it comes to how they play. Or are we gonna go with a more seasoned veteran? Makes me that's interesting. Because if we hit the nail on the head with this, we'll be right back in the playoffs next year. You look at the farm, our crops are ready to be harvested. That's the thing about this team. You know, our crops, meaning prospects, they're ready to go. There's no problem there. We're good to go with that. Like for real, we're good to go with that. We're probably going to see 2 or 3 prospects from their top 30 in the MLB as early as June next year. And did I mention we have literal Bo Naylor ready to go for next year too? Dude hit 11 bombs while barely playing half the time because our lovely manager has this thing where it seemed like when he homered, he didn't play the next game. And he did not like Bo playing in day games after a night game, which I get it. But like, this dude literally would not play like 3 straight days. And it's like, what are we doing? I've literally seen Bo Naylor go out there and hit moonshots, absolute nukes, right? And then we don't see him for like 2 or 3 days after. It's like, and the worst part is the backup, Cam freaking Gallagher, might be the biggest stiff I've ever seen hold a bat. Like, I swear, you could probably get better results out of a scarecrow. You could literally have a mannequin go to the plate and hold a bat like this, and he'd probably have better results. My dude, Cam Gallagher, only had like 6 or so like RBIs or something. I think 7 RBIs all year in a 162 game season. He probably had about 30 some starts, 40 some starts around there. He had quite a few. It's ridiculous, man. We need a better backup catcher. I'm just happy we're looking for a backup catcher next year, not a starter. We got our starter. That's bona fide. We're good there. But yeah, you know, guys, you really want to know what makes me laugh? So I was scrolling through Twitter, what was it, last week? And I talked about this in my one recap stream. The whole Dashy thing. Him tweeting about the Guardians, right? Well, it appears, because the Reds were eliminated from playoff contention tonight. And me being the little, pansy that I am, me being petty, I quote tweeted the tweet saying, this dude said this. In fact, I'll even pull up the tweet for you guys. Let's pull it up because let's see here. So I'm not going to pull it up or anything. But anyways, September 23rd, literally a week ago today, and she tweeted, as always, I get the last laugh over Cleveland Guardians fans in the MLB. Last night, the Cleveland Guardians get eliminated from the MLB playoffs. Okay, cool. I'm thinking in my head, all right, this guy is literally trying to say that he thinks that they're going to make the playoffs, right? He's trying to say they're making the playoffs for the most part. I tweeted today after they got eliminated from playoff contention. I said, and 1 week later, the Reds were officially eliminated from the playoff contention. And then I said this tweet aged like crap. And that set Dashy off because he responded. Now, keep in mind, I did not mention the Ohio Cup, right? But he tweeted this at me in a quote tweet, right? He said, and I quote, Ohio Cup means nothing, you idiot. I hope that next season you start your rebuilding process and have bad seasons so we can laugh at you for all you idiots did to us. Shut up. I live rent free in your head, you idiot. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up, buddy. I responded saying, funny thing is, I didn't even mention the Ohio Cup. And we're actually not rebuilding, so you can STFU about that. And you mentioned my team, so I had to clap back at your dumbass. And then he responded. He said, dude, you know I get the last laugh over you bums. If you don't beat Detroit tomorrow in Miggy's final game of the season before we beat the Cardinals tomorrow, expect me to get that last laugh over you bums over there in Cleveland. It's like, I'm thinking in my head, do I have to bring out the graph or like the standings again? Do I have to educate this Reds fan again? Who clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. I'd be like, I wanted to tweet something like, Dashy, we've made the playoffs. We've won our division, what, 6 times in the last 10 years? You guys have made the playoffs 1 time, and you couldn't even win a damn game. Calling us bums. Wow. Last laugh over you bums. Last laugh. But neither of us made the playoffs, so what exactly are you laughing about? You guys sucked less? They won 13 straight games in the summertime, and they didn't even make the playoffs. That's tough. That is tough. We're in a transition period between managers. It's what it is. What it is. Dude, you know I get the last laugh over you bums. What are you talking about, bro? If you don't beat Detroit tomorrow, like, what does it even matter? Like, seriously, what does even matter? We're both not going to the playoffs. He's gonna literally be laughing because of record wise, mainly. Ah, we had a better record than you. We got eliminated one week later than you. Ooh. But it's like, dude, we both didn't make the playoffs. Although the Reds are used to that because, like I said, they've made the playoffs one time this decade, really. Since Tito showed up, actually, they made it twice. Ooh, twice. We've literally won our division like the last couple years. I will literally go over it again if this loser wants me to, because I will. I could literally take a screenshot of our last 10 years and theirs. I literally, you need to like take this like info and like drill it into his head because I mean I've heard of numbskulled, but this dude's a dunce, man. My God, calling us bums, boy. I mean, I get it, it is what it is, but like, this is literally what the fifth, like I said, the fifth time in 11 years that we've missed the playoffs, right? Yeah. But like, that's crazy though, because they've literally missed the playoffs in the last 10 years. In fact, since 2010, they've made the playoffs four times. They didn't win a round. As far as I'm concerned, they didn't win a round. I mean, if you want to count the wild card, but they won their division two of the other three times. They've either lost on the wild card when they didn't win their division, and if they did win their division, they lost in the NLDS. They haven't made it to the championship series since 1995. Damn. At least I could say at least we've won around more recently than that, which I mean that's not saying much considering that was technically last year. Technically, wild card, right? Technically. Yeah, classic Dashi. Who do you want the new Indians manager to be? I don't know. I haven't really. I need to start hearing some names actually come out from credible people. Indians fans have been throwing names out like Will Venable and a couple others. Then you got the group of fans that want us to stay in the organization. You know how I feel about that. Sandy. Who else would it be? Sandy Sarbaugh's name has come out. Robert DeMarlo Hale. I don't know if DeMarlo would be a great choice. Sandy's, I think, come out and said he doesn't want to do it. I don't think he doesn't like being a manager. He had to be a manager for a couple games when we fired Acta. I don't think he liked it too much. And that's really it. As I can think of. I'm sure candidates will come out, and I wouldn't be shocked if we interviewed Gabe Kapler. I don't think we're gonna hire him though. My Orioles are ready for the playoff games. Well, I hope so. You guys are number one seed, and it's freaking crazy considering last year where the O's were. They won 101 games this year, and last year they were actually 3 games out of a wild card spot last year. So it's like Orioles fans knew this year could be special. They saw a little glimpse last year. They saw something. Yeah, they missed the playoffs, but they're like, we got something cooking over here. And sure enough, 1 year later, they win 101 games and they have one more game remaining. That's freaking crazy. And what's even crazier is you look at where they were in 2021. They were like one of the worst teams in the league, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they were the worst team. They won 52 games just 2 years ago. They were, and how funny is this? Get this. So, the two worst teams, Baltimore and Arizona in 2021, the playoffs this year, right? Philadelphia, they're back, of course. Miami, 67 wins 2 years ago. They're in the playoffs this year. St. Louis won 90 games 2 years ago. They're done. They're out. San Francisco won 107 games 2 years ago. They're done. Well, how about this one? Texas, 60 wins 2 years ago. They're in the playoffs. Minnesota, 70. Oh, should I go? Soda, 73 wins 2 years ago. They're in the playoffs. Easy how it goes, right? Toronto's in the playoffs again. The White Sox, they won 93 games 2 years ago. They're done. They're out. They're going to go through a rebuild. Yeah. Yep. We'll see how that goes. Most likely. They brought in a new GM. They brought Tony La Russa in as an advisor to the front office. Speaking of which, I wouldn't be shocked if Tito retired as a manager, but was kept in the organization. Maybe keep him around the clubhouse just to make sure everyone knows that he's still around. And it takes that pressure off of him when it comes to being a manager. He could just, work in the front office and help them out. Make sure everything stays in tip-top shape. Ah, man, but I cannot wait for free agency already. And oh yeah, one more thing. With us being so ass this year, we get to experience the MLB draft lottery. San Diego is done. Yes, they are. Yep. But yeah, guys, we get to experience the MLB draft lottery for the first time. And you probably thinking, wait, what? Draft lottery? Since when? It was established last year. Now they actually put in a rule where I believe if you get like a top pick or something, you don't get it the year after. Kind of make sure, teams get an even shot, and it prevents just teams from absolutely just gutting their roster trying to get the number one pick, like we've seen in basketball. So let's do a couple rounds of this. Let's see what we end up with. So right now we're the ninth team. We have the ninth best odds. Yep. So let's do a couple sims, see what we get. Oakland's probably going to get the number one pick. Not like it matters. They're going to trade him away when he comes up to the majors anyway. In fact, the way things are going, by the time, this kid that they draft comes up, they might be in Vegas by then. Okay, so the first go around we have the fifth pick. And then we drop to 9. Feels weird doing it for baseball. I mean, we never really had a top pick in baseball. We were never bad enough to do that. Okay. Yeah, we were never bad enough to have the top pick in baseball. We've always just been mid. We've never been horrible. We've always been mid at worst. Okay, this thing's not working anymore. Oh well. So yeah, guys, this should be a very fun playoffs. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a couple playoff games, maybe every week, maybe one or two. Depends on the matchups and what else is going on. But yeah, it's gonna feel weird not watching the Guardians in the playoffs. You know, it's also gonna be weird not seeing the Yankees or Red Sox. This is the first time in a very long time that we have no Yankees or Red Sox or Guardians in the playoffs. You've always had one of those teams in the playoffs, it seems like, and this year none of those three are in it. Right? That's crazy. I think I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Figured I'd come on for about a half hour. But yeah, don't worry, guys. This isn't from this year. No, I know it. It looks like it was, but no, it's not. This is from last year when we would pop bottles after winning our division. You know, something that a certain somebody hasn't experienced in a long time. So, yep. Do I think Josh Bell comes back? No, I don't think we'll bring him back. No, no, we would have no place for him because most likely one of the first guys we're probably going to bring up next year is Kyle Manzardo, who we got in the Savali trade. He was hitting straight missiles in AAA. I think at the earliest he might be up out of spring training. Yeah, we might have a tandem at first base of Manzardo and Josh Naylor. That would be amazing too. But I mean, do I hate the fact that our season ended so early? Yeah. But it's like I've mentioned this a couple of times earlier in the year. I mean, we kind of needed a bad season just to clear things up. We got rid of Ahmed, of course. That cleared up the shortstop position. Now, of course, the challenge is we got to find a legit starter out of the guys we have. Ryan Rocchio, Tyler Freeman, or Gabriel Arias, who has a wrist surgery. So see how he does in his rehab. But we need to find a straight up starter at shortstop instead of. I mean, we could probably platoon guys, but I think the good thing is we can move them around. Gabe and Tyler can low key play third base if they really needed to, which makes things that much easier. After tomorrow, season's over, and of course, I will be doing my season recap stream as well as my series recap. And then I will talk about my wish list for the 2023-24 offseason. Manager wise, I'll be doing videos for that when I hear about interviews or rumors. And I believe free agency starts like a couple days after the season ends. So right after the World Series is over, I think like 2 or 3 days later, free agency starts. And who knows what'll happen. I think last year the first signing was Tyler Anderson to the Angels. Do I think the Guardians are going to be aggressive? No, they never are. Hopefully, though, they make a couple moves. Outfielder, definitely, probably number one priority. I would say maybe look for like a bullpen arm, something like that. Maybe make a middle relief arm or someone who can handle a good workload. Maybe a new setup man. Or tell Stefan to get his act straight. Don't be so bad. And I think one guy that really needs the offseason is Emmanuel Clase. He pitched a lot, 44 saves. And keep in mind, he also blew 12 games too. So a very rough year for Class A. Overall, the whole team just regressed. That was our big issue. The whole entire team regressed at the same exact time. Pitching, hitting, I guess you could even say defense kind of struggled a bit at times too. That was tough. Injuries definitely killed us as well. Of course, McKenzie and Bieber, the big ones. But Josh Naylor going down right around the trade deadline, just like Shane Bieber. Because in my eyes, Bieber doesn't go down, We trade him, and we get a good package for him too. But he gets hurt right before the deadline, and it's like, well, damn, there goes our number one trade chip. And I can guarantee you, Antonetti and Chernoff were in their office like, okay, well, Bieber's done. How much value Savale has. And then that led to Savale getting traded. And I honestly knew after his last start, I was like, yeah, watch someone trade for him. Because he had a masterclass in his last outing with us. And you know the Rays were watching that game. They had a scout there probably, and they were like, oh, yes, I need this guy on my team right now. I could just see, I could just see Tyler Higbee. Oh, he's playing tomorrow. Okay. I thought what? Bruh. I could just see that scout texting the GM like, yo, dude, this Savale dude is cooking right now, bro. And then the GM's like, oh, really? What's the stat line? And then he puts the stat line and it's like, in all caps, get him now. Well, actually, no, he wouldn't say that to the scout. The scout would say that to the GM. Get him now. Send. I mean, that trade was low key a win win, right? They got Savale, who essentially kept them above water. They needed a pitcher. Their pitchers were falling apart like crazy. McClanahan, Baz. How many pitchers did they lose? I think they lost almost their entire starting rotation. Glasnow has been out. He's back, and he looks damn good, too. Mm-hmm. Springs is out for a long term as well. Yeah, they needed a pitcher. And with what I saw going for like Giolito, I was like, yeah, we got to do this. Too bad Bieber got hurt though. Bieber would have got us a good package, I think. But hey, it is what it is. What's up, Daniel? Says good luck against Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens. Speaking of injuries, they had a ton. They're missing quite a few good players against us, but they still got Lamar. So we'll see how it goes. Battle for first place tomorrow. I don't know if you guys heard, by the way, about David Njoku. Earlier today, I got a tweet on my phone saying how he was questionable, and I was like, huh? And then I read the details. This dude apparently was trying to, I guess, do a burn, like make a fire in his backyard, like in a burn pit or whatever that these guys have, fire pits. I don't know how he made the fire, but this dude got burned on his face and on his arm. I'm thinking, yo, what? I thought at first it was like a cooking incident. And I was like, yo, David, you know they have personal chefs, right? What are you trying to do? Make sushi or something? You trying to have like one of those like sushi restaurants where they have the flat top and they be spraying like oil on the thing and it is woo, big old flame? Like, yo, what are you doing over here playing with fire, bro? Don't you know? You play with fire, you go and get burned? David, what are you doing, bro? Then I heard there was a fire pit and I was like, yo, David, how close were you to the fire pit? Were you like standing over top of it? Did you try to chief spike the lit match into the fire pit, bro? You don't know what I'm talking about. That's a celebration when he scores. You know, he does like like sumo steps, and then he jumps in the air and spikes the ball on the ground on the ground. Like, you trying to do that with the lit match, bro? Did you use lighter fluid or gasoline? This dude probably used gasoline, and he probably just flicked the freaking match and went. Whoa. I don't know why, but I could just see that happening. And it's like, yo, why are you standing so close, bro? Oh my god, dude. I hope his face wasn't burnt too bad. That probably hurt like a trucker too, man. Probably can't touch it. They put like a probably just face covered in aloe vera, and man, that's tough. It'll look like he been through a war. I think he learned his lesson, low key. Don't stand so close to a fire. Fire's dangerous. I mean, I have a freaking fire pit at my house. That's big one thing. That those fires get big. I mean, my goodness. Especially when you burn cardboard and stuff. Ooh. And there's even times like where the fire would be out for like a couple hours and you'll see and there's like a little orange, like little fire like lit underneath. Gotta be careful with that stuff too. But yeah, guys, pretty much gonna wrap it up for this. Going about 50 minutes. Give a little, look at the matchups for the playoffs. One game left in the season. Again, like I said, my series recap will probably be maybe tomorrow, but it could also be Monday too. Do it real quick tomorrow, but I might do it Monday afternoon. And then we'll see what we do at the manager position and see how quickly we fill it. I think the last time we filled our manager spot with Tito, I think we had him hired about like a couple weeks into the offseason. We did not waste time at all. We'll see how long it takes here because we don't really know who we're going to go after. Some people think it's going to be an internal hire. Some people think it's going to be someone from outside. Beat writers even think it's going to be from someone from the outside. They think that the front office is going to go someone from the outside, get like a new voice in the clubhouse. Because honestly, listening to the same guys talk for 11 years, that gets kind of stale. But sometimes you get a new voice in there, new ideas, right? Maybe a new way of hitting, you know, instead of what I call terrorist ball, which is essentially just grounders galore. Maybe we get a guy who values launch angle a little bit and endorses hitting absolute nukes every once in a while. Something like the Braves, right? I don't know about Crazy Dog. I mean, I'm not saying go be like the Yankees and try to hit everything out of the yard. Just do more than what you did this year. I mean, when we had Van Berkeley, we were very aggressive. They were good at hitting for power. They didn't like try to derp around all the freaking time, and they were a very good homer hitting team, but also they struck out a lot. But I guess that's what you get with trying to hit bombs every once in a while. And hopefully, we do a little stuff in free agency. Most likely, I think I would say via trade. We seem to do better via trade than free agency. We have the problem with signing guys. Not because they don't want to come here. It's just that when we sign guys, they don't usually pan out. So, guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'll probably do some playoff baseball games every once in a while, and might even do some collabs with some fellow YouTubers, especially my guy JB Taylor over at Walk Off Sports Talk. I collabed with him a couple times. In fact, I collabed with him for the trade deadline. That was fun. It was a quiet deadline, but towards the end, it did get popping a little bit. Yeah, I even got a reaction of him. The Diamondbacks making a trade. He's like, "Oh!" And I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Wait, what? What happened? What happened? What happened? Huh? Huh? Huh?" And of course, the Josh Bell trade happened too. And I was like, "Oh my god!" Go watch it. It's freaking crazy. Dog. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. I don't really want to go too much longer. Football tomorrow, and then hopefully we win, and I will have another victory Monday. Live stream on Monday, of course. You already know what we do. Going to hopefully we're going for 3-1, and we're trying to take the lead in the division again. And yeah, let's go beat Baltimore, huh? Let's go beat Baltimore, huh? Let's do it. Yeah. But I will see you all tomorrow for Browns Ravens. Now, so the Guardians play tomorrow, last game at 3:30. So not going to stream it, obviously, but I'll watch the last part of it most likely. Hopefully, we can end it with a dub and get ready for next year because there's going to be a lot of changes. So, with that being said, I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go, Guardians.